My buyers they would come and they would tell you that ng'ombe yako is worth so much. It's not you, the farmer, who are saying ng'ombe yangu is worth so much.
Kubva kare pasina deep attendant. Ng'ombe dzaigona kungojamba kudhibha pamwe bzomboita 6 months dzisingadhibhi.
Zvokuti deno taigona kuwana mvura iko zvino tichaita our project in a better condition.
This is exactly what forced us to unite, because we have a common goal of trying to harvest from the leaky or from the few animals that survived the drought.
In Zimbabwe, drought occurs every 4 to 5 years in the southern provinces, and this phenomenon always leads to livestock losses. Food insecurity and malnutrition are worsened by erratic supplies of stock feed, lack of water, prevalence of diseases, as well as the continued constraints faced by the Agriculture Extension Support Services. Following the assessment of the impact of drought on both people and livestock in the middle of 2012, the Department of Livestock and Veterinary Services, the Ministry of Agriculture, and the UK Government Department for International Development, together with the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations, launched a drought mitigation program to save the breeding cattle in the 9 districts of the worst affected provinces.
DFID has a large and wide-ranging programme in Zimbabwe. We're very active in basic service provision, such as in the health, education and water and sanitation sectors, and also in social protection. But we're building up a portfolio to increase wealth creation in Zimbabwe and strengthen economic development and improve livelihoods, especially for the poorest people in Zimbabwe. The government of Zimbabwe asked FAO to save the national cattle herd, which was threatened by drought for a 2nd year running. And we'd been working with FAO on a similar humanitarian intervention previously, and also on an agricultural inputs project. So it made sense for us to talk about partnering again in response to this request from government. As you'll know, livestock's critical to families and households in the drier parts of Zimbabwe, and we certainly wanted to avoid the crisis becoming a complete disaster.
What we have done is that we have provided the feed to the cattle in those areas, as well as other livestock, for them to survive. The second component has been to provide supplementary feeding with a view to fattening the livestock for market, so that farmers get greater income per unit of their cattle than they used to. The third component has been to provide water services, both for livestock as well as for people. We have also provided training and extension support to government of Zimbabwe, veterinary, as well as livestock people.
Through the program, stock feed was transported to primary warehouses located in the affected areas for further distribution to other districts where farmers have constructed secondary warehouses.
Stock feed tinayo panapa tine 15 trucks, which is 15 by 30 tons. The stock feed tinayo panapa, and people are buying because they want to add value to their animals each and every day. Yeah. They also need this feed kupa mombe dziya dzimwe dzinenge dzichirwara dzisingakwanisi kunofura, saka vanouya vachitenga vachifeedha mombe dzavo. And other people vanouya vachitengera madhongi avo kuti agokwanisa, because madhongi panapa ndo anoshandiswa for manpower. Pama sales edu at first we could receive a truck makusena 8, and then by the end of the day that truck, which is 30 tons, inenge yatopera.
We distribute feed at $7 per bag to farmers. Then we save that money in their bank account. So far, we do have $245,000 in the bank, of which part of the money, before the $245,000, we managed to buy some materials to put up some feedlots in the district, 4 of them.
hatichabirwi sezvatanga tichibirwa nemabuyers ava vanga vachingouya munhu achingosvika kuti mombe yako is worth so much. Kana iri papa pafeedlot vachiivinga ipapo is more advantageous because hauchanotora permit kuti utine mombe iya uise kuri, because iko zvino permit is $10. So you will have saved a lot kuti mombe dziri pafeedlot dzouya dzotengerwa ipapo, kuuya ma-auctioneers, kuuya nevanhu vanoziva nezvemombe vanenge vachitotibetsera kuti mombe yako is worth so much.
Sifuna ukuthi lathi singene kubo baba ngoba singomama abazenzelayo asila madoda. Singomama abafelakazi sifuna ukuzenzela nathi sibambisane labo baba siyenze isibaya sethu. Kube kuhle ifeedlot yethu sithengise inkomo zethu siziphathise emulini zethu ngoba singomama asilabo baba.
There was a time when our livestock was, per beast were going as low as $200, $150, $300. The primary motivation was we cannot let our stock go for next to nothing. With the advent of these pen fattening schemes, I'm aware with cattle have gone as far as 1.5, 1.8, basically because we put them into 50-day pen fattening arrangements.
What we have done as a project management unit is to try to help the communities link up with input markets. In this case, we are looking at suppliers of or manufacturers of stock feed. We have said let there be a market arrangement where the communities are capacitated enough to engage with producers of stock feed like National Foods, Agri-Foods, so to mention.
Mr. and Mrs. Ngwenya started a mobile kitchen by investing a mere 5 kgs of meat daily in their startup business. Realizing no profit at all on the small enterprise, they committed to joining the pen fattening project.
We came in next to Crowlett and established this project, the feedlot. And then after establishing the feedlot, we employed the local community. And then we asked them to drill a bore for us. We are buying feed at $14 a bag, but now we are buying it at $7 a bag. So due to the lowered price, we decided to increase our head. We have increased our head from 40 per month to about 60 to 100 in a month.
We realized the pen fattening, the pen feeds, they're actually good. Even our cattle are actually gaining weight. Some of them move from one stage to the other, from a commercial stage to a super grade, such that even out there in the retail side, there are so many butcheries. There's a lot of competition, but we manage to withstand the competition because we normally have a higher grade in terms of the quality of meat compared to other people because we feed these animals using stock feeds.
The high occurrence of drought in Matabeleland has often meant cattle are frequently moved from one area to another in search of green pastures. This frequent movement brings vaccinated animals into contact with infected beasts, exposing them to disease. Dip tanks in communal areas are therefore essential, and accessibility to water is critical for dipping cattle to control such diseases.
Ng'ombe zichibaiwa nokudhipisa zvinobetsera ngoti dhiba inovuka zvumwe ubheke dzimwe dzinogona kuforodza kusabhekeka zvakanaka kana dzisabaiwa kana dzichibaiwa dzinobeka vana vakakwana zvakanaka. Ng'ombe dzangu dzinondibetsera izvezvi ndazama dzinondibetsera ndatotenga netututu kupa vana kuvovokisa.
It's important that farmers, because of the movement of their cattle, they were looking for grazing, so they moved into areas which are endemic for FMD, and so it's necessary that they are vaccinated. The local cattle and the cattle that are moving into those endemic areas, that they're both vaccinated for FMD and anthrax.
Through the drought mitigation program, farmers and field extension staff continue to gain access to specialized training.
So one important thing about feedlots, be able to control disease. And there are various ways that we can control disease. The other one thing is vaccination. Vaccinate against diseases that are common in your area. Diseases like black leg, diseases like anthrax, even the normal dipping program. You have to make sure that your tick challenge is very low.
Dams, rivers, streams and boreholes are the main source of water for both people and livestock in the rural areas. However, due to the drought, the sources have run dry and the water table is very low. Farmers are forced to rely on boreholes that require regular repair and maintenance. Chituripasi feedlot is one such group in need of water facilities.
Neno taigona kuwana mvura iko zvino ticha our project in a better condition. Tiri kushandisa a public borehole yokuti kana varidzi kana isu tichipompa mvura vanenge vakatimirira vanenge vachitopopota vachitukana.
Well, in terms of the direct impacts of this programme, it provided stock feed for over 70,000 cattle and saved the livestock of over 80,000 families, and that amounted to nearly 350,000 people altogether. But there were also indirect impacts. For example, the creation of the community committees to manage the revolving funds also brought families and households together to achieve economies of scale. So that meant, for example, that they could pool their livestock and decide that they'd got enough livestock to make an auction worthwhile and actually bring the buyers in. I visited families myself down in Matobo district in southern Zimbabwe, where you can see that having a borehole close by makes a real difference to people, not only in terms of keeping livestock fit and well, but in enabling vegetable gardens to thrive, often tended by women who are spending less time ferrying water to and from.
Within 7 of the 9 targeted districts where farmers used to travel up to 4 kilometers to the nearest dipping site, today 350 boreholes and water points are under rehabilitation.
We have also built capacity of those communities to manage their own accounts and business models that they have. The impact is there to see already. The project was selling feed at 50% of the market price. So the other 50% was being kept by the communities themselves to help them build assets. And we think that even when the project finishes, these assets will still be very useful for those communities. Some of these farmers who have been buying these feeds at 50% now using the project, when through this project they become better farmers, they will be able to buy at 100% of the market price later on. So it's actually a contribution to market development. I think we value the partnership with DFID. We have signed another agreement with them, which is a sign that DFID also values its partnership with FL.